Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. Man, I definitely did. I had a great Saturday. I went 5-2 with a couple nice plus money hits in there. And then Sunday, I didn't even place many bets. I put down 3 bets, all plus money, swept 3-0, including a full unit on the Rangers at plus 140 on Sunday Night Baseball. So I had an excellent weekend. Hope you all had the same. Let's keep that momentum rolling. Very light day. 2 WNBA, 3 MLB is all we got on the board. So it'll be a quick one. Chris, how was your weekend?
It was good. From a betting perspective, I came out about even though. I went 2-2 yesterday, which sucks. A lot of parity in the WNBA. I feel like the favorites were covering for a long time, and then the dogs started covering, and that was all fine and dandy. But now it feels like teams are just kind of Jekyll and Hyde. I'm not sure if it's because the Olympic break is coming up or what the case might be, but we saw the Fever get their first win of the season yesterday on the road against a team that had above 500 win percentage. And it's just been a lot of pace. Chicago led all game until the fourth quarter when they scored 5 points against the Minnesota Lynx. So yeah, it was a lot of parity, and I feel like it's been a lot of parity in the WNBA. A lot of live betting spots I feel like are probably going to be cashing a little bit more than others.
Got it. So we got 2 games on the board today, and the first one's Connecticut on the road in Phoenix. Phoenix coming off an upset loss to the Fever, right? Mercury lost that game. So
they lost to the Dream. Remember, I gave out Dream plus 8.5 last week.
They lost to the Dream. I thought I saw they lost to Caitlin Clark because Tarazzi versus.
No. Mercury lost to the Fever. Connecticut lost to Atlanta.
Okay. So the Mercury, who were red hot, lost to Caitlin Clark yesterday, and Connecticut also recently took an upset loss. So which team gets back on track here?
If I had gun to my head, Kyle, I'd probably take Connecticut. Don't really like fading Phoenix at home. They are still 7-3 straight up and against the number. They have the X factor, and for whatever reason, they just play against this. They play really, really tough against Connecticut in Phoenix. Last year, the Mercury were a shell of themselves compared to what they are this year. They had Diana Taurasi, who's like a corpse of herself now. But they didn't have Kalia Copper. Brittany Griner was in and out of the rotation because she was hurt. But they still beat the Connecticut Sun, which returned a lot of its same players. They beat them twice last year in Connecticut. So, in Phoenix, I'm sorry. So, I'm not, the line did move. It moved a lot. It actually opened with Connecticut getting a 1.5. And now it's shifted to plus 3. I wouldn't be that quick to put my money on the Connecticut Sun. I know that they do have the rest advantage, of course, and I think that's a big part of it. But Connecticut's not looked good recently. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. They're 0-5 against the number in their last 5. And now they're playing against some teams that actually can play basketball. This is not the Mercury. This is the Mercury. This is not the Mystics. This is not the Fever. This is not the Dream. So I think it could be a potential bounce back spot here. Clearly, as you can tell in my voice, I didn't play the game from that perspective. I do like the total, though. Both teams play opposite styles. Connecticut plays fast. Connecticut plays the slowest pace in the league. And Phoenix plays the fastest. I kind of feel like Phoenix will play a little bit slower just because it's the second leg of a back-to-back. And Connecticut continues to lose games because their offenses just look so putrid. So I like the under a little bit more than anything else here. Kyle opened at 159 and it's down to 158, 157.5 out there as well. I think I would just take Connecticut. Really hasn't been scoring the basketball. So their team total is like 80.5. I think that's a good look, but I think also full game under just because both of these teams, no matter if they can score or not, they both are top 5 defensively over the last 2 games. So those are a couple ways that I would look to play it. Live bet the game. If the team goes up 10 points, starts off super hot, just live bet the other team because I do think it'll be a competitive game, when it's all said and done. So those are my thoughts on this one.
All right, so an under 157 or a Connecticut team total under 80.5. I would lean towards the Mercury because I feel like they just had 1 loss, whereas Connecticut seems to be in a downslope.
Tailspin, yeah, agreed.
So let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is Dallas at Seattle, 11.5 point line here. Wings coming off an upset win. Was that the Wings we were just talking about, right?
Well, that upset win came against the Minnesota Lynx after the Commissioner's Cup. And then remember on the show the other day, you said I would probably back the Seattle Storm. And I said, what, Cal? Say that again? because Dallas was coming off that upset win.
Oh,
and,
that's right. And you
smoked.
said they're about to meet again on Monday, right? I remember this.
Yep, they got smoked in that game. I think they ended up losing by close to 20. It's really, really difficult for me to want to come on here and talk about how I see a lot of regression coming from Seattle. I don't. Seattle just continues to cover the number. Every time that they've won, they've covered. They're 12-6 straight up, 12-6 against the number. I know it's a big number. The number is a little bit bigger, but that's the only way I can look. Dallas is not great defensively. I actually think the team total is a better look, Cal, if you want to stay off the spread, because we know back doors can be open at times. Dallas team total is 78.5. And in their 9 road losses so far, Dallas has only scored 79 points once. So when they fail to cover, fail to win, they fail to score. And Seattle is probably the best defensive team in the WNBA right now, if not second, if not third. So they're definitely top 3. And then I looked at Seattle as well. In their home games, they've covered the last 6 in a row. They're winning by an average of 14 points. And a lot of it is because of their defense. In the 8 home games, Seattle's only given up 79 points or more once in their last 6. So even if they, they struggle a little bit, which I'm not sure if they struggle offensively or not. Say this, the game's played at a slower pace, whatever the case might be. I do think the Dallas team, I don't think that they're getting 79 points, 80 points today. So if I had to play this one, that's the way I would look. Kyle, total is dropping. Opened at 169, it's down to 167.5. So, but you still can get a 77.5 on their team total. So that's a 78.5. I'm sorry. So that's the way I would look in this one. Dallas just not to be able to score. Seattle continues to play really, really good defense. They're locked in.
All right, so Dallas team total under 78.5. Chris, thanks for coming on, man. Make sure you guys give him a follow. Chris Be Cappin with 2 N's is his Twitter. He also has a YouTube channel where he posts a show every single day. So yeah, make sure you show him some support.
My guy, appreciate you guys. Best of luck to the community. Best of luck to you guys as well.
For sure. All right, let's talk some MLB baseball, which means let's fix the screen real quick. All right, Toast and Lindy are both here. All right. And we should now be good. Yep, everyone is on the screen. What's up, guys?
What up?
What's going on?
Not much. Kind of a weird one today. Not much.
Yeah, I have
action
0
on
bets.
I have 2.
I had 1, and then Vladimir Guerrero got scratched, so
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever.
You were
And
leaning.
Altuve. I'm like, who's playing today?
Yeah, no, Altuve sucks, but I still think I'm on the right side. So actually, I'll start because I do have a bet in this first game. It's Houston on the road in Toronto. Totals at 9. I'm going with the same bet today that I had yesterday. It worked for me. I know no Altuve hurts a little bit, but I'm going Houston team total over 4.5. Same thing I did yesterday. Let me just get it up on the screen first. Houston team total over 4.5. If you guys remember, I backed Yariel Rodriguez in his last start against Boston. But the reason I did that was I thought it was a sneaky spot to fade the Boston bats, which I think are cooling, and to fade Boston because they have a lineup full of lefty bats. Yariel Rodriguez can actually pitch against lefties. For whatever reason, this dude just has terrible numbers against righty bats. Houston is an extremely righty-heavy lineup. Now, without Jose Altuve, there's one less righty in there, but still, Houston's been red-hot hitting the ball. They're going to have 6 righties in the lineup for this game. Yariel Rodriguez has his numbers against righty bats are terrible. So Houston should have no problem getting up and over this number. Don't love that they just flew in off the Mets series. I don't love the spot, but I'm not overly scared of it either. Toronto's bullpen is a little on the tax side, not bad. But either way, it's not a bullpen I trust. So even if by some grace of God, Yariel Rodriguez is able to pitch a decent game, I still think we're live in the late innings. Houston's going to get all 9 at-bats here on being the road team. So, yeah, I like this bet. I bet it. I posted it. Houston team total over 4.5. The reason I didn't play Houston to win the game or Houston -1.5 or anything like that. Toronto's actually showing signs of life offensively, and I don't know. I just felt more comfortable taking the team total over. That's where I went. Lindy?
I'm pretty comfortable just backing Houston on the money line, just like as square of a play as possible. But getting a little bailed out, no Altuve, but then getting Vlad scratched here was quite useful. Pretty much everything you brought up with Yariel Rodriguez, perfectly true. Sub 0.70 expected ISO against lefties. He's been pretty good there. 241 expected ISO up against righties. And Yenner Diaz has had some reverse splits. He's been right on right guy. Going back to his AAA days here, batting cleanup for Houston. I took a look at him to go yard. Not probably going to end up pulling the trigger on it, but just ended up on the same spot that I was kind of circling pre-Vlad getting scratched. It looks obviously much better now, although one of the batters that'll definitely make this line move within the next couple minutes.
Got it. Yep. So, yeah, I feel the same way. Houston to score some runs. Toast?
I'm looking to play on Toronto. I don't know if I'm going to get there now without Vlad. Understand all your guys' concern about Yariel Rodriguez. But I still think that this
Wait, hold on.
Toronto
I'm looking
offense...
at Vlad confirmed in the lineup here.
Okay,
He got scratched.
I was going to say.
Oh, RotoWire hasn't updated it yet.
Yeah, so the new lineup, Bichette, Horwitz, Turner, Springer, Varsho, Kiner, Falefa, Schneider, Kirk, Clement. I've got him for like a 91 WRC plus against righties, and Hunter Brown is on fire. So these are good things.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, you're right. So they tweeted out there is no Vlad. Weird. I guess RotoWire just hasn't updated it yet. So no Vlad is true. So there's no Vlad.
Thank you. I'm worried. I want to see what Spencer Brown does against a hot lineup. I understand they didn't look hot yesterday, but I do think Toronto started to pitch hit a lot better. And I understand that Hunter Brown has looked really, really good his last 4 starts against Colorado, the White Sox, Detroit, and the Angels. Not 4 teams that I really worry about as far as at the plate. Not to mention with Spencer Brown struggles with lefties, are much better against lefties than he is against righties. 336 WOBA against righties, 382 FIP against righties, or XFIP against righties. I felt like with Vlad in the lineup, they might be able to give Hunter Brown some issues. And then when you get to that bullpen of Houston as well, I understand that Hader didn't pitch yesterday, but he also got ready and was assuming that he was going to come into the game. I'm not sure Josh Hader's available. Even if he is, Presley Abreu went back 26 pitches. Presley's back-to-back days. Tanner Scott 3 days in a row. Seth Martinez back-to-back days. That Houston bullpen is very taxed. So I was trying to get you to Toronto. Without Vlad, I probably don't get there. So it's going to end up being a pass for me.
You said Tanner Scott. That's Taylor Scott, right?
Did I say it? Yeah,
Taylor, it's okay.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure Tanner Scott, because it is about the time we're going to start seeing.
Miami. Sorry.
Yeah,
right.
But I could see Houston making a move for a guy like Tanner Scott. I don't think that's crazy. So, all right. Just wanted to make sure. So, yeah, that's another thing that Toast mentioned that I didn't mention. I'm a little worried about the Houston bullpen as well. It's not completely crushed, but definitely a little bit on the tax side. But Toronto's bullpen isn't in excellent shape either. All right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Our holy shit. Okay, so everybody watching is betting Houston. 73% to 19%. So
if I get plus 130 on Toronto, I pull the trigger. Everybody,
it's going to get there. It's going to get there before.
I know. That's why I'm waiting.
Yep. You should wait. It's one of those things where you talk about like 20% differential. You talk about the hold on both sides. Like it is such minute differences between like being in on Houston at an early number and being in on Toronto on a late number. That
100%.
I hope people understand that more, because it truly does shift on a dime. It's not what you think is going to happen. It's price and probability. And at the end of the day, if I were to be jumping on this late, like 5 minutes before first pitch, it's insane to say. But yeah, I'd definitely be looking at the Toronto side as potentially Houston's going to get steamed post Vlad. That's going to happen in the next, hour and 45 minutes.
Dude,
I think me and you look at things the same way.
The reason that I'm on Houston team total over is I think if Toronto wins this game, it's going to be via the bats continue to produce. I know yesterday they didn't, but as a whole, Toronto's bats were producing better. I think it'll be a Hunter Brown blow up and a Houston bullpen blow up. So I think even if Toronto is the play here, I could still get up and over 4.5, or at least I still have a shot of doing it. That's how I think.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the main thing comes down to like This is a gross lineup for Toronto to be rolling out. You get Spencer Horwitz, you get Dalton Varsho. Varsho continuing to just disappoint at every single turn. But I think that you look at Hunter Brown against righties, 116 expected ISO against, 289 ex-WOBA. I mean, the lefties are where you're really concerned for him, even though the strikeout rate goes up for him against him. 174 actual ISO, 131 expected ISO. I don't see any lefty to be like all that concerned about here. So congratulations to Horwitz and Varsho both on going double dong on Hunter Brown today to crush my hopes and dreams. But I feel pretty good about this spot now.
All right, let's move on to game number 2. We're talking Grimace Ball on the road in Washington. And what a weird game to try to bet here, because both of these teams in such weird spots.
I know.
So
you just have 5 minutes on each spot.
This is my favorite game on the board.
All right, you
now,
go first. You go first.
Please go first.
Oh my Lord. So I got in on this yesterday, -110. Mackenzie Gore coming off of getting disassembled against San Diego. It was brutality. If you watch the game, though, it had weird profarness, ends up being a back and forth. They get in some feuding. Mackenzie Gore starts talking a little bit too much. It was problematic, but Mackenzie Gore has still been one of the better starters in baseball. He is the ace of this Washington staff, bar none. Just looking at the first 5 here up against the Mets, I think the truth of the Mets lies somewhere in the middle. Yes, Grimace Ball has taken over the nation. It is starting to just go nuts, but this opened -110, now sitting -115, first 5. I think this is a really good spot to just go in and back. You got the wind blowing in from left field here today in Washington. Gore sitting there with a 26.6% K rate. And then David Peterson on the other side. If you just told me straight up, David Peterson up against Mackenzie Gore, like initially I would be thinking you'd be laying like -130, -135 on that. And it just simply isn't the case because of like 2 decent starts where he somehow avoided complete destruction against Texas and New York. He had 6 and 8 strikeouts. Maybe we see that strikeout stuff start to ramp back up, but this has routinely been a Washington team for the last couple of years. They don't strike out a whole hell of a lot in their current iteration here. It does have a 22.1% K rate for this projected lineup, only an 81 WRC plus, but I do like backing Lane Thomas in some capacity too. He's a lefty killer. I think looking at his total bases props across the entire board, I was surprised to see upwards of +143 there. You could have gotten +135 on FanDuel, now down to +120 there. +125 on DK, probably still somewhat in play. But I mean, Lane Thomas, as well as this Washington first 5, feel like the 2 spots that I really want to be firing up. At the first 5, I'm in love with here in this spot.
If so, you said Lane Thomas. What specifically, like a hit, HRR, total bases? Okay, I missed that.
Yes, I was looking at total bases. The numbers gotten exponentially worse as I was working through it here. Down to +125 on DK. Actually, that's probably going to be more of a stay away at this price. It was sitting, again, there's a +143 at Bet Rivers, some other spots. If you're not limited there, one of the 4 people who aren't.
Dude,
but
Bet Rivers, man.
I'm just saying, it's what it is.
I know.
But I feel pretty good about attacking David Peterson with a 199 expected ISO against lefties, a 170 expected ISO against righties. So I have no issues backing Abrams, 187 expected ISO there. But Lane Thomas, 403 ex-WOBA against lefties on the season, 237 expected ISO. Hello, how are you doing this fine day?
Right. So, I mean, I can't say I hate that Nats first 5 look. That being said, I don't really. I guess if you put a gun to my head and force me to make a bet on this game, this is the only game I don't have a bet on. I bet the other 2. So I guess I would go here, an under. But all right. So obviously I don't like the spot for the Mets getting off a series with Houston where they blew late leads and 2 of them, immediately fly into Washington for a division game without Diaz and the bullpen. All of a sudden, it looks like it's in a free fall. I have no faith in the Mets bullpen right now at all. But the Nationals have flown 30,000 miles in the last 5 days. They've been everywhere. They were in Colorado, San Diego, Tampa, home, without a day off. They've been everywhere. This is the craziest travel spot. So you got a Nats team returning from an 11-game road trip where they were around the entire country.
Literally.
So, and there's also the aspect of, all right, look, I don't trust David Peterson. I don't trust the Mets bullpen at all. But I think the Nats kind of suck, and I could see them not hitting. Like, I could see Mackenzie Gore throwing 7 shutout and it being 0-0. honestly.
So I'll take the push there. Then I'm okay with it. Nats had to sit around in the clubhouse for 48 hours themselves yesterday and wait to get eviscerated in a top 10 or top 11 it was. But I get it. I looked at the Mets numbers and, obviously I just feel more comfortable backing Mackenzie Gore back. Like, I think he comes back to, he was one of the best starters in baseball here. He had one bad outing last time. That happens in baseball all the time.
Yeah.
It's not like a buy low spot by any means, because the Mets are basically as buy high as possible. But when I think the truth's somewhere in the middle for the Mets, I feel like you're getting a tiny bit of value on the exponentially better lefty.
Yeah, and like I said, I didn't bet this, so I don't even hate the Nats in the first 5. I don't even dislike that bet. Yeah, it'll be under a pass, but I bet the other 2 games. I'm not going to be betting this one. Toast?
I was trying to get to the Nats in some way, somehow. There's another guy on the Nats that's getting his call up today, James Wood, who's a lefty that I really want to look at too. But yeah, I can't get there with the spot. Like you said that. I really wanted to play the Nats here today. I had been making money hand over fist with the Mets. Yesterday, Kyle cancels the show because he doesn't want to work. My wife lets me sleep in. I don't get to bet the Mets. And now it's over, and I don't know what to do because now I'm in a spot where I don't really want to play the Mets in general. And I really kind of like this. I really like Washington in this spot, regardless, besides the fact that they're traveling and stuff like that. So it'd be Washington or pass for me. I'm probably going to end up playing Washington first 5 as well. So you can put up a Washington graphic for me. So I'm really, really trying to figure out a way to get to Washington here. I just don't know if I really want to just fade the Mets. That's all. But yeah, this one is hard. I haven't bet it yet, but I really want to play the Nats.
Man, no one believes in the Mets.
I do believe in the Mets. You got to admit this is a bad spot for them.
I mean, I said under a pass, so I'm not dying on a Mets hill. As far as our viewership goes, they love the Mets. 73% of our viewers said they're betting the Mets. 15% said the Nats. So the viewers all over Grimace.
I mean, let's think about this from a public opinion, too. How many Nationals fans do you know in the world? I know 0. I know
how many people like Grimace? Everybody.
Exactly. Everybody. The shake is fucking delicious. But just to touch on James Wood for 1 second, he is a guy with north of a 1 OPS right now. He's insane. Slashing 353, 463, 595. I think it's just left on left that, I'm not going to be. I saw somebody wanted to bet plus 675 or plus 750 to homer or stuff like this. No, you sit and wait.
Exactly.
And there are 48,974 baseball games left this season. Don't make your stand day one. You're not missing the boat on a guy like this. It's the same thing when people see big strikeout arms come up from AAA. Just pump the brakes a little bit. You generally see people overperform once they get called up. It is a very, very rare thing. So left on left, I'm just going to be sitting, waiting, wishing. But number 3 prospect in baseball, he is quite good, it would appear.
I'm a big San Diego fan, so I know a lot about James Wood.
Someone on the Nationals versus Grimace debate, someone says hamburgers versus politics. Hamburgers win every time. Cincy says this is a bad spot for Grimace. All right, this next game, I have a player prop in this one that I bet and posted, which will happen will happen about 5 times a season. I don't do many player props. So here are my thoughts on this game. This is how I arrived at this player prop. I like the spot for the Rockies. I don't trust the Brewers lineup against left-handed pitching. I don't trust the Brewers lineup on the road. Just coming into Coors Field. Yes, I know the Rockies are just returning from a road trip themselves, which I don't like. But you got the Brewers just coming into Coors Field to try to hit off Gomber. I think it could be a really rough day for the Brewers bats, even with this 11.5 total. The reason I'm not going to sit here and bet Rockies money line to plus 132, that bullpen already sucks as it is, and it's rocked after that 15-inning game against the White Sox. So I don't know. In the late innings, I could see the Rockies blowing a 5-1 lead to lose 6-5 in this game. So I don't want any part of the Rockies trying to hold on to a lead late. So this is what I did. Look at this. Look at this prop here. Austin Gomber over 15.5 outs. That plus 105. I bet this. I posted it. The Rockies bullpen is cooked. They're going to need Gomber to eat outs in this game. So even if he gets touched up a little bit early, they're going to need him to power through it. He's going to have a big leash in this one. They do not want to hand the ball over to that terrible taxed bullpen in this one. So just playing Gomber to go deeper than 5 innings into the game. I actually think there's a solid chance Gomber throws a gem here. Like I said, the Brewers against lefties doesn't scare me. The Brewers on the road doesn't scare me. The Brewers flying into course doesn't scare me. So I think there's a chance Gomber throws a great game, but certainly he'll have a long leash to pitch deep into it. So I'm on this. Gomber over 15.5 outs at plus 105. Toast, what are your thoughts on my prop?
So I like that prop. I actually prefer Bryce Wilson less than 15.5 outs if you're looking at both pitchers in this game. That was something that popped up early for me this morning. Kind of worked through it, and Milwaukee didn't utilize McGill, Hudson, Peguero, Payams. They basically were able to eat innings against the Cubs. Freddie Peralta will help you do that. He is quite good at the throwing of the baseball, and they have all of their depth. They can do whatever they want to today. Bryce Wilson, I know they do a lot of the piggyback stuff where you're going to see certain longer relievers eat up some extra innings there alongside him here. He came off of 6 innings there the last time, so giving him another out to go out here and chuck. But Bryce Wilson sitting at 15.5 outs. I like the under on that as well. So if you're looking at a play on both, particularly there, Austin Gomber, I'm with you. Again, taxed out bullpen, 15.5. You always get that sweat. 5th inning comes, he's like 84, 88 pitches in. What do? It really is just going to depend on who in that lineup shows up there. So if you can get some live betting exposure to that too, you might be able to find some way of capitalizing on a platoon type spot. I'm just looking through projected spots here. Blake Perkins, I've got in the projected lineup. Jackson Churio. So a lot of righties there. Colorado, no real exposure. They only have the one lefty that's been in this pen all season long. So it's probably a good spot to know that Austin Gomber, you're going to see some kind of a platoon spot where they might pull the trigger on it there after 5 innings, but that's such a hypothetical. I like the number.
Yeah, so would you say Bryce Wilson under the outs would be your favorite?
Is Bryce Wilson, are they going to have an opener then?
Yeah, he's primary though, Bryce Wilson.
They've done piggyback type stuff all season long with Bryce Wilson, but I think he's getting like a full-on start. He ended up going 6 innings, 3 hits, but only 74 pitches for Bryce Wilson. And that's the thing. He was extremely efficient there. Assuming that he ends up starting this ball game, I think shorting him because they've just done so much piggyback stuff all season long with some of these back end starters. Milwaukee, they're not stupid when it comes to the old analytics. So they're gonna do everything they can to try to utilize. So again, Bryce Wilson wanted to throw out 15.5 outs is something that I like the under of as well.
I was just asking because I thought I had written down last night that Rob Zannery or whatever was opening for Milwaukee.
I think
and
he
then
still
Wilson
is.
was coming out. Okay, I just want to make sure I was right there.
So I think it's I've still got Wilson listed as the main guy everywhere there, where they could potentially go to Zannery there. Let me find.
I could be. That's why I asked. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
No. I think it's important because obviously, depending on the rules of your book,
I don't think that you can bet.
Otherwise, you're not going to get action on this.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if you could still bet it if he didn't start. That was going to end up being my question because I don't bet that market. That's why.
All right. So what a primary pitcher is, that means that Bryce Wilson is not starting the game, but they plan on bringing him in to pitch the majority of it. So when you see a primary pitcher, you'll see Bryce Wilson come in and pitch innings 2 through 6. The idea is to try to get Bryce Wilson deeper into the game because they don't trust him to throw 6 full innings to get it to their 7, 8, 9 guys to close it out. So they use an opener. Now what happens is some sites will change the starting pitcher to the opener, so you'll get all these comments like, Bryce Wilson's not pitching. Yes, he is. He's just not pitching the first inning.
I'm double checking here. Bryce Wilson, it's going to say it's going to be voided if that's the case for the 15.
Well, and that's why I asked because I
bet MDM though right now as the pitcher though. So just wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah, I mean, Roto Grinders has Zastrizny as the starter, Bryce Wilson as the primary. Same thing for Roto Wire.
I wouldn't have even thrown this out there if you hadn't thrown the first one out there where I was like, oh, Bryce Wilson's actually jumping for me anyway. I haven't bet it yet. I probably won't, but
would they have voided your under 15.5 outs would they void that bet?
Starts, I would absolutely hammer that. Yeah.
Well, I know for a fact that you could have gotten Bryce Wilson under 15.5 outs at -115, -120 about an hour and a half ago, because I was just looking at that market for Gomber. So I'm wondering if you bet that, and then it was announced that Bryce Wilson is now the primary pitcher instead of the starter, if they would void that bet, because technically he still is pitching. That's what was my
original question.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm genuinely asking. I don't even know how that works.
Most everywhere would void it.
Oh, okay. That's
bullshit, man. That's a great
that's,
pick.
Yeah, that sucks. Like,
sorry for being sharp, my bad.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like, man, I really had. Yeah.
All right, Toast.
Anyway.
I'm looking to play on the Rockies. Call me crazy.
Look at the bullpen,
I'm not
though,
even
dude.
worried about the bullpen that you keep.
You're
on
not
talking
worried about the
super
bullpen?
much.
Oh my
Not really. I mean, honestly, I mean, so no, what you're going to worry about? No Nick Mears and no Jalen Beeks. Kinley's still ready to go. Justin Lawrence still ready to go. Victor Vonduck with that fastball is ready to go. I mean, he only threw 21 pitches, had the prior 3 days off. I honestly, I'm not really worried about the Rockies bullpen. Austin Gomber is who I should be worried about.
Are you kidding me? Gomber's a rock, bro.
Huh?
Gomber's a rock.
Dude, I'm not even really worried about Austin Gomber. Look at his last 7 starts, all on the road. Padres, hot. Oakland, they suck. Dodgers, before Mookie got hurt. St. Louis, they're hot. Minnesota, they're hot. The Dodgers again. Houston again. I mean, he's playing the who's who of hot lineups over the course of his last 7 starts. I think that everybody's going to be on Milwaukee here because they're so really good. And also, I don't even know if Milwaukee's playing that great of baseball right now. I mean, honestly, if you look at their last two home series against Texas and the Chicago Cubs, I mean, there was a lot of those games that they were rather score on a grand slam or a late home run late that gives them the game. If that happens here tonight, so be it. But I think with everybody else on the other side, I'm going to be playing the Rockies money line tonight.
So I brought the graphic on the screen so you can look at the Rockies bullpen. I don't know how this doesn't worry you, dude. Beeks 2 nights in a row. Lawrence 2 of the last 3. Mears 2 nights in a row. This is
everybody else is good to go.
What about a Rockies first 5?
I'll probably end up splitting it up, but the Rockies first 5 is like -1 or plus 105.
I saw. It's not even a good. It's not. Yeah, there's probably a reason for it. Yeah.
Well, if I like him in the first 5, I'm really not even that worried about that bullpen. I'm dead serious.
I'll stick with my Gomber plus money.
I like that bet. I do, because if your bet hits, that means my bet has probably even a better chance of hitting.
Yep.
Score prediction. So it's 4-1 Rockies. Final score 6-4 Brewers.
Oh, give me the over. Give me over. Let's party.
All right. Next up. Oh, wait,
I
that's it.
I did see
We've
some
reached
cool
the end of our
stat
boarding walk right there.
So I guess instead of a community parlay, because there's only 3 bets, we'll do like a community top bet. And you know it's going to be the Astros or the Mets because they love both of them. So we'll do you guys like the Brewers in that one. So we'll do a community top bet. Astros, Mets, or Brewers. So Astros at -142. Mets at -115. Brewers at -155. All right. I'll even put a title on it. Community top bet. Go ahead and cast your vote. Let me get the poll running. Okay. It's running. While they're voting, Lindy, you want to tell the folks where they can find your stuff?
Yeah, you can find me over at Odd Shopper on the YouTube channel over there. Would love to have you guys over there. I do Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks, breaking everything down the night before. Always try to just talk about things. There's no such thing as a lock, but I've always made it like hyperbole for my full unit bet. We have a lot of baseball left here this season, so come hang out. Would love to have you. I had my 3rd consecutive losing April, followed by my 3rd consecutive smash in May and June. So overall, maybe I just take April off next year. I need to make up a fake disease so I can disappear and just like go on vacation for a month and then show up once baseball is a month in, because now it's starting to heat up. Now things are good.
What I have done in the past at that, but it ended up biting me in the ass. So for my plan was, okay, I'm just going to bet half units for the first month and a half of the NBA season. But what happened was I started off the season red hot, and I was only up like 13 units, and then I upped the units, and then I had a losing month. So I was like back to
literally what happened to me this year in
baseball. Yeah. So like I'm done with that. I
lost the entire month, so don't me. Yeah,
I've done that too. Trust me, that was college basketball the whole season for me.
Oh yeah, it was a rough one for Toast.
Unreal.
So yeah, are you Thursday 3 p.m. Eastern time? Is that you? On Odd Shopper?
I can do Thursday 3 p.m.
There's
Eastern.
someone from Odd Shopper DM'd me and asked if I wanted to come on that show. Are you on that one?
That would be fantastic. Yeah, I think if Mr. Greg Ehrenberg sent it over to you.
No, it wasn't Greg. Greg's coming on this show Wednesday.
Okay. Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, but
That's awesome.
Thursday well, actually, I didn't even answer him yet, but Thursday would be the only day I could do that time, so I was going to do that. But yeah, Greg's here
That's
Wednesday
fantastic.
with us.
Yeah, we love hanging out with you. Obviously, this is a great community and a great spot. Love having the intertwined YouTube streets here, and great to meet Toast for the first time as well.
Yeah, you too, man.
Respect a lot of what he does over here, and again, we definitely do think about things in alignment, where we're looking for small edges, looking for ways during the course of a long baseball season to be profitable over the long term. It's not about today. Always be looking ahead.
See, people are making jokes about Toast to college basketball. Like, I haven't heard Toast say points are going to be at a premium in weeks.
People are funny. People are funny. Hey, you can be mean, but at least be funny in the process, and you're okay with me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at least I always tell people, like, okay, that was a good one. Like, I will give you that. That one made me laugh.
Yeah, if it was clever, it's fine.
Yeah.
So Astros money line at -142 is the community top bet, and I don't hate it, don't disagree at all. I personally took the team total over, but I think the Astros continue to roll also. So thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Me, Toast, Modai. I think Ski and Chris Be Cappin coming out for WNBA. So we'll be back tomorrow. Then Wednesday, Greg's coming on, Me, Toast, and Greg for MLB. Then Thursday we're doing all in the morning because they're all day games. So Thursday it'll be Me, Toast, and Kamish for a long one because there's going to be 15. And then I'm going on the Odd Shopper show in the afternoon. So that's the plan for the week. Everyone, thanks for watching. I'll be uploading some stuff tonight for tomorrow's games. Yeah, I got the bets posted on the website, all that. Oh, if you didn't submit your picks for the betting league, you got 54 minutes. So this is a new week starting. Everyone's at 0-0. So if you weren't in last week, I'm trying to get in this week. You got 54 minutes to submit. So everyone, have a good day.